Hello and welcome to Mystical Musings with me, your host, Tracey-Anne. Today we're going to be talking about the solar plexus. I'm going to show you how you can know whether your solar plexus is underactive. We're going to look at how you look to find out if it's overactive, and also find out how you'll know if your solar plexus is balanced. And we're also going to have a look at ways to keep balance or to bring balance to your solar plexus. This chakra is known as Manipura, or the solar plexus, and it's located in your upper abdomen, just sort of below your ribs and your stomach area. It's the energy center that is associated with personal power, self-esteem, your confidence, that kind of all-round feeling good kind of energy. And the color that it has is a beautiful bright yellow. Now, knowing if your solar plexus is out of balance is really important, because if it affects your confidence and self-esteem, it can have a direct impact on your level of success. Now, balancing this chakra is vital to be able to move yourself forward, but the other two chakras that I've spoken about in the previous recordings are also, they're just as important. I wouldn't say that any energy center or chakra is more important than the other one. We need to work on keeping them all balanced. But depending on where you're at, you may give more energy or focus to a specific chakra. When I first went on my Reiki journey, for example, I needed to work with the root chakra because I just wasn't very grounded. I'd been through a period of intense stress, and I needed to just have that feeling of groundedness. And what that did is that helped to balance my solar plexus by balancing the root chakra, because they all affect each other. But I also still needed to work with the solar plexus. So knowing whether it's underactive, it does affect your confidence and your self-esteem. You might feel really powerless and indecisive. Like that sense of overwhelm can be really, really difficult when this chakra is off balance. So you might look at a room and not know where to start. And if you are neurodiverse, this chakra can sometimes be off balance, or it will go off balance maybe a little bit more easily. Now, you also might have difficulty asserting yourself because you don't have the confidence or the self-esteem. And within self-esteem is that self-love to kind of just go, no, I know what I need for myself, you know? And so it's just about not, when this chakra is underactive, you want to just make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that perhaps are trying to look out for you, but they're not pushing too much on you to work in a certain way. You might have a fear of rejection. I'll say that word again, rejection or criticism, and that can be really, really difficult. Now, this one for me, the fear of rejection or criticism is really easy for me because I'm in a situation where I have a massive family and we're all really close. I have a really great relationship with my husband and kids and his family as well. And the fear of rejection or criticism is one that I know that if I get rejected or criticized by somebody, I am not going to be unsafe. My survival does not depend on it. So, like, for example, my cousins are very happy to tell me when I'm being a bit rubbish. And they can do it in a real brutal way sometimes. But because I know I'm not going to be rejected within that criticism, because I know that they will still have me back, and I know that, it's easier for me. So for you, if you're in a position where you have faced actual rejection, where your survival maybe growing up has depended on whether you might face that, you might do something that could mean that you would be criticized or rejected, you have to go quite gentle with yourself, because again, we are all in different positions. We're all experiencing the world in our own way. Our souls are going on their own journey. And so it's just about kind of being gentle with that. So if you are somebody that's rejection sensitive, or you really struggle with criticism, stay tuned for how you bring balance to this energy center, because it will really help you. And the other one is also digestive issues and low energy. So if you've got something like Crohn's disease or IBS, sometimes this chakra, well, colitis is probably more likely with it being so high. But low energy, that kind of thing, can be that lack of motivation, that push forward, because it's just, yeah, it's all kind of sitting heavy. So that's if it's underactive. What about if it's overactive, if you've got too much of something? So you might exhibit a dominating or controlling behavior. Now, remember, I think I may have said this in another podcast, but that sometimes you're going to go, well, I don't have confidence or self-esteem, and I'm also dominating and controlling because I've got this kind of need for control over things. It's not a one-size-fits-all. You could have an overactive and underactive chakra. It could be just completely out of balance. That's okay. If you identify with it, don't go going, oh, God, I've got that and that and that, because we all go through moments or times in our life where we'll have kind of everything will be a bit out of whack, you know? So that dominating or controlling behavior is perfectly possible with an overactive solar plexus and an underactive solar plexus. You may have an aggressiveness or an arrogance that comes in. You might find it really difficult to listen to others because you may have a sense of like, actually, I know what I'm talking about. There's a sense of confidence in you. And so you want to let other people you want to kind of, I just don't want to listen to you because I know what you're going to say and I know what I know, and so that can feel quite lonely because you can get kind of stuck in this place of not really feeling good about yourself, but also being quite assertive and controlling with other people. And that's really, really, really hard because you take that into any situation within your life, whether it's in the workplace or with your family. It can cause real dysfunction. So, you know, this chakra is really, it's where we start to get a bit juicy, I feel. Other people may disagree, but I think it gets a bit juicy. There's a lot to work on here. Another symptom of overactive is, I can't say this, workaholism. Being a workaholic, and a perfectionist. This can really keep us stuck, like trying to do things perfect. So I'll give you an example of how I kind of overcame this. I am not a perfectionist. So it's, and this is simply because I don't mind making mistakes. And that's because I'm growing up in a world where I'm actually really safe. So I like to adopt the mentality of done is better than perfect. So, for example, like I've got this podcast out. I accidentally started it one day because I wasn't afraid. I just thought, well, if people hate it, they hate it. You know, there are going to be people that are going to criticize my podcast. I can't go through life expecting that everyone's going to love it. I mean, it would be great if everybody loved it, but I am not a messiah. You know, I don't expect for everyone to hate it, to love it. I do expect people to hate it as well as love it. I expect that I'm going to say things that maybe in a few months or weeks or years' times, I may go, oh, I'm not sure I agree with that now. And there may be people listening that go, yeah, I don't agree with that. That's okay. I'm not professing to be somebody that knows absolutely every little detail because I'm just on a learning journey just like everybody else. So that kind of that perfectionism can really just hold us back. If I had gone for perfect, I would not have as many episodes out as I do now. I think this is episode number 5. Yep. I would maybe be on number 1, still trying to figure out all of the technical stuff and, you know, working all that out. And I just wanted, done is better than perfect. Just do it. Face criticism. At the beginning, nobody's listening. So, you know, and those that are, if they don't like it, they don't have to come back. It's not a problem. Like, I'm not overly attached to the outcome. I'm doing this for myself, but also to help other people, you know, in some way. And also, you can get digestive issues due to the excess stress, because if you imagine you're dominating, you're controlling, if you're aggressive, you're arrogant, you find it difficult to listen to others, you've got this workaholic nature and you're a perfectionist, that's going to increase your cortisol levels. And that, of course, any kind of stress will affect digestive issues. It's pain, a real pain. So let's have a look now and see what it's like to have a balanced solar plexus. It's confidence and self-assurance. It's having a healthy self-esteem. Not an inflated sense of ego, but an understanding of who you are and actually quite liking who you are. You have an ability to set and achieve goals. Really fascinating. I fall flat on my face with this quite often. And it's, for me, the energy that I've been working with recently is consistency. So showing up consistently with certain things can be really difficult, especially if you could just go off track. I have a habit of kind of running full pelt at things and falling flat on my face because something's not quite going right. So I've been really working when I'm having my Reiki treatments and when I'm also doing my self-Reiki energy healing obviously on myself, I'm working with the energy of consistency. And I do find that in the solar plexus within me. You might find it somewhere else within your body, but that's fine. So another sign of this one being in balance is being able to be assertive. So being able to set boundaries, but in a balanced, kind of aggressive, a non-weak way. You just go, no, actually, like, I'd love to come, but unfortunately I can't. Really simple. Not, I can't come because I've got this thing. Like, people do not want your life story. We haven't got time for it. It sounds really cold, and as you begin to set boundaries, if you've not been very good with it, you're going to find that it feels really uncomfortable, and that's annoying because we don't like discomfort. And that's why we end up in all these pickles, because we're always, as humans, we're programmed to avoid anything that is scary or feels uncomfortable. And so what we end up with is kind of this big stuff going on in the background, in the back of our minds, wreaking havoc, and coming out of nowhere, we're getting, things from our past will come up and kind of bite us quite hard and go, I'm here. Are you going to deal with me yet? No, I'm just going to, and then we go into a bit of a breakdown maybe, or we're really triggered, and then we don't work on it because we for whatever reason. And by the way, I'm not criticizing anybody in this position, because if you don't know that it's something you're meant to work on or that you're meant to get help with, then it can be quite difficult. I am a huge believer in, obviously, if you're somebody that's suffering with trauma, you're going through mental health issues or whatever, you get help for your PTSD or your ADHD or whatever is going on for you. You get the relevant medical help. The problem that we are facing, where I am in the UK at the moment, so I'm talking more specifically about the UK, but wherever you are, see if you can relate it to you. Our mental health support is lacking immensely. And so I am not saying to anyone that you should get energy healing and only get energy healing. Some people might be in a position where actually you can do that, and that's okay. But energy healing should really be something that you do as a complementary therapy. It should go alongside anything else that you're doing. So if you've got a headache, I've said this before, if you've got a headache, you can put your hands over your head and imagine that you're bringing in the energy from your hands that you need, but you can also take a paracetamol and drink a load of water as well, and maybe just check, maybe do a rehydration salt or whatever works for you. It's not the absence of other things. And this is the same with this. It's not about instead of, it's about adding it to it. It's not necessarily gonna hurt if you've got a good practitioner. So the other thing is efficient digestion. So you may find that you're just eating well, you're going to the toilet well, everything's just kind of going really nicely, and that's a symptom, if you like, of the balance. So how can we balance our solar plexus, or any of our chakras really? Always begin with meditation, visualization. This pisses people off. Sorry for swearing. It annoys people. It really does. And I get it. I really do. Because I've mentioned it before. People go, I'm just thinking too much. And it's not right. Chill out, just take a minute and just breathe and just notice your body and just relax your body. A really good thing you could do is go on YouTube and just play 10 minutes of sound healing with like the singing bowls, because those frequencies do help quieten your mind. Just do it for 5 or 10 minutes and focus on a golden glow in the upper abdomen and visualize yourself as strong and confident. And you can do this by standing in power pose, which is your feet just slightly further, I think, than hip width apart. You put your fists on the back of your hips and push your arms back and put your head all the way up and look up at the sky and just visualize. That would be a really good one to just bring in that and just do that for a little while. And that science has proven that actually does help you feel more confident. Affirmations that you can use are I am confident and empowered in all aspects of my life. I am full of self-esteem. I love who I am. That might be a difficult one for some of you, but there's lots of other affirmations. Remember, in this podcast, we're just skimming over the top. Crystals that are really good. Citrine is really good for this one because it helps boost your confidence and your personal power. You've got yellow jasper. That balances your emotions and promotes stability. And then tiger's eye enhances courage and self-confidence. So that's a good one. And then foods like bananas, yellow peppers, corn, whole grains like brown rice, quinoa and oats, and then spices like ginger, turmeric and cumin. Obviously only use these if you don't have any allergies to them. I'm sure I don't need to tell people that, but stranger things have happened. And then there's aromatherapy oils like lemon, ginger, chamomile. They can bring balance to that area. There are others, but those are just some that come to mind. And then remembering to bring the biggest thing with any energetic healing or the journey of your soul or your self-help journey is remembering to use the tools that you have, which is why it's so important to fill your toolbox with as many different tools as you can, so that depending on what you need, you might need to journal one day, sit and breathe another, go for a walk another, jump up and down for another, lift weights for another. Do you see what I mean? It's about adding in as much as possible. So remembering to keep yourself in balance, you can do mindful breathing. Breathing's really great, but a lot of people actually do it kind of wrong. So if you can get to a breathwork workshop, that would be great. If not, maybe look up some videos and have a go. But if you start to feel a bit lightheaded and you're on your own, I advise caution. Positive visualization. So if you can create mental images of success and confidence, or if it's not something that you've seen, you look for somebody that maybe you know that you think, God, I wish, I want to be more like her or them or him. And, it's really about kind of not looking at them with envy and going, I wish I was like that. Feel the difference in the energy. I wish I was like that. And then just like noticing that you're not like that, or going, okay, I wish I was like that. How can I emulate some of those things that I'm seeing, that I'm being shown? Yeah, it's a whole different energy, but there's not much in it in terms of words and what we say to ourselves. Set boundaries. Again, I'm going to recommend the book again, Setting Boundaries Will Set You Free by Nancy Levin. I should be on commission for this book. It's amazing. Physical exercise will be, because it's activating your muscles, it's giving you physical power, and that obviously raises endorphins and helps you to feel more powerful. And then maintaining your positivity for this chakra is really important. You want to surround yourself with people that are positive. If you can. Look, YouTube is a wonderful thing. So if you're listening to this, you probably have access to YouTube. There are loads of people that are really positive and uplifting. I love Brené Brown. I love Danielle Laporte. So all of these people you can find very easily. They've got books, they've got videos, it's about surrounding yourself in the way that you want to be. It's about putting you as the seed in the right soil so that you can grow, and making sure it gets light and nutrients every single day. Yeah. That's the consistency part. And obviously, if you can bring all of these in to your daily life and have that regular kind of sense of awareness, that self-awareness is one of the biggest things. And sometimes at the beginning, self-awareness can be really painful. And you might get self-aware years before you even begin to take action. So you might know all these things about yourself. You know, people tell me things, I'm like this, I'm like that, I am this, I have that. And I'm like, okay, cool. How do you want to be? Because you've told me how you are and you've told me it's not working. So what are we going to do to change it? And these are some of the things. And actually, you know what? Keeping balanced and being in a good place is, for the most part, for most people, is a lot easier than we think it is. But doing it alone, I don't recommend. I don't recommend doing life alone. Get that professional. And even if you see somebody once every 12 weeks, if you've got a time and money constraint, once every 12 weeks is really good. If you can do every month, perfect. Like that would be the optimum. But once every 12 weeks as a minimum. And if you're really strapped for cash, maybe once or twice a year, but I think getting these energy treatments, whatever it be, kinesiology, Reiki, sound healing, a combination of all of them. I think that it can really help to just rebalance you. Okay, there we are, guys. That is your solar plexus. I will see you in the next episode where we are going to be looking at the heart chakra. Beautiful. Bye, everyone.